Hello, and welcome to an overconfident episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, once again, Nick Harmon. With us today, we have the second half of the Fine Touch Taping team. Tyler Adler joins us on the show for the first time. Tyler is an ambitious 22-year-old business-savvy hustler with an inclination for success, and he has his partner in crime, Faith, at the helm with him, crushing it on social media. We discuss the challenges of learning the trade from multiple teachers and the struggle of wanting to branch out on his own at a very young age.
But yeah, Faith and I were in two different positions. I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. I was kind of getting fed up with that whole idea. I've always wanted to do my own thing and live on my own terms and whatnot.
And as we learned, you're kind of you're sharp. You got good grades in school, like you're a sharp person.
Yeah, I'm not dumb enough to be a drywall employee.
Yeah, and so you, and hey, no shame to drywall employees out there. We get a lot of drywall employees that listen. That's an easy route to go too, because you don't have to deal with all the bullshit of running a business. As you now know, there's a lot. So you guys start waxing poetic about a logo. We're kicking around names. Did you devise a plan at that time to go out on your own? We discussed the challenges of switching to his own business and how that transition wasn't the easiest. We also discuss knowing your worth. I really appreciate Tyler's willingness in this episode to be honest about his path, and I'm inspired by someone as young as him to defy the odds. You might like him, you might hate him, but one thing's for sure, you're gonna like this episode. It might be warm outside right now, but it's cold in the Drywall Podcast studio. Get your coats, because we're coming at you with something cool. You guessed it. I'm talking about our badass sponsor for the month of July on the Drywall Podcast. I'm talking about Ames Tool Company. That's right. You don't have to adjust your sound. You heard me correctly. I'm welcoming the godfather of the automatic taping tool, the Sultan of Sling, the OG of OGs when it comes to automatic tools. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the concept of rentals. Did you know that Ames rents tools? Well, you do now. Not only was Ames at the forefront of the automatic tool manufacturing movement since 1939, but they also pioneered a not so typical way of selling their tools, and they're still doing it. I'm talking about renting. Fun fact, you don't have to buy automatic taping tools. You can rent them, and I want to highlight some bullet points on why that is a great option. And for starters, you get factory fresh tools every time. These babies are fully calibrated and ready to go. Something breaks, no problem. Just swap it out at your local Ames location. Want to know more? Check out shopamestools.com or stop by your nearest Ames location to learn more. But for now, we have a very youthful Tyler Adler out of Peterborough, Ontario, Fine Touch Taping on the 138th episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm going to shut up now. Let's listen to the show. I don't know. How thick is your story, Tyler? You're younger, so it's not going to be as long. I see you're vaping there. What are we vaping this morning? Are you smoking weed?
No,
are you loosen up?
No. No, only nicotine in here.
Nicotine.
Terrible addiction. Yeah.
Does Faith does she do the vape as well?
Yeah. It's her vape.
That's her vape. Would you consider this like a younger person sort of thing that
Yeah. I mean, you've got your older person vaping to quit smoking, but
right.
I know me and a lot of people I know kind of got into it out of peer pressure, hype. I mean, I started vaping in grade 9, and I had never smoked a cigarette before. So I really had no reason to be vaping nicotine, but I got into
No,
it.
no. I mean, have you looked at the problems with vaping? Is there like major problems or anything like that? So, I mean, it's better for you than smoking, right?
Well, I don't know. It hasn't been around long enough to really know. I mean, yeah, no, I have no idea. I like it. I know it's
You
not good
like
for me,
it?
but I know one day I have to quit or I'll die.
Very cool. We have Tyler Adler. I was gonna say Alder, but that's not right. Tyler
People have always
Adler.
called me Alder. I hate being
I
called
I well, my brain automatically went to Alder. That's so weird, but I have it written down Adler here. You are the counterpart of, I used the word counterpart on the last podcast a little bit. We're gonna use it again. The counterpart of Faith, the great Faith,
Yeah,
Baelish of Fine Touch Taping, and you
yeah.
two makeup, fine touch taping, and we have interviewed Faith, fantastic person. It's a great episode if you want to check that out. You guys are young, so I mean that's kind of your claim to fame. You are a young power duo. How old are you, Tyler?
I just turned 22 like a month ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you guys have you've been on your own for how long now?
About 2.5 years now.
Okay. So I've got to stretch this out because we only have, if I interview somebody that's in their 50s, well, I got 30 years to work with, man. We can go off on that one 5 year span when they try to join a band or something. But with Tyler and Faith, it's like, no, you got a little teeny window here. We haven't been to college. We haven't, like before Drywall, it was just like you were in your youth or going to high school or whatever. Did you graduate high school?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. And you're wearing your Fresco Harmony shirt, and
I am. Of course I am. Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I'm wearing my Fine Touch. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even notice.
you
Love it.
guys gave me a Fine Touch shirt, so
Good.
it's good. This is the essence of the community in the drywall space, whether you're American or Canadian or Italian or English or from New Zealand. It doesn't matter. We don't have any borders on the Drywall Podcast. Luckily, we're all just coworkers. we're all in this.
Basically.
We're all in this crazy trade together. You and Faith took a toe into Fresco Harmony, and you have a little bit behind you. You've done like what, one or two jobs or something?
I know we've done one really big, memorable one. I feel like yeah, we've done a little one.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know Solid Drywall.
yeah.
We kind of hooked up with them in Etobicoke, and
Okay,
we did Fresco in their kitchen and
okay.
had a whole barbecue and everything. It was pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, those guys are like hangers, right?
They board tape. I don't think they paint a whole lot, but they board and tape. They do metal framing, I think, too.
Okay. All right. Yeah, cool people though. I think I've met them
Oh, yeah.
at one of the shows or something.
Yeah.
But no, you guys have had a little bit of experience, and that project that you did in Fresco is extraordinary, man. That thing turned out badass.
Are you talking about like that really
The one
high
with
wall we did?
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
big round
Oh,
window. Such a cool wall too.
it was so cool. Yeah, one of a kind. Yeah.
Yeah. What color did you use on that?
What color? Trying to remember. It's something really white. It was like bone colored. I can't think of the color. Um,
Maybe Patterson snow.
yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the whitest generic color that we have.
Yeah.
Very cool. Tyler Adler. And where are you from, Tyler?
Uh, Ontario.
Ontario. And who else? Do you listen to the Drywall podcast sometimes?
Yep, I have quite a few. Yep.
You've listened to quite a few. Cool. Can you give a favorite or one that's memorable to you besides Faith? That's cheating. We know she's memorable. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite that stands out, but a few that I've heard are
Yep.
you and Hayden, you
Yep.
and Steve with the Drywall.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I heard your Gilbert podcast.
I like that Gilbert one, man. They're so shy, and it's interesting to see them in, sort of an interview setting, but and how they play off of each other. Uh, I like that one. I don't know why.
I got name dropped in their podcasts. Like I forget how, but me and Faith got brought up at some point. I think you brought us
Oh,
up to them, and it's just kind of cool.
interesting. Yeah. Don't discriminate. I try not to discriminate. So, 22 years, Peterborough, Ontario. And you went to high school. Did you complete high school? We're gonna
Yeah, I
get to
graduated. Yeah, I did pretty good in high school. I'm
okay.
not like a high school dropout or anything.
You're not a derelict. You're not a derelict, and you're in drywall. So that's interesting. How does that work? I thought you had to be a derelict. That was a prerequisite to being in drywall. But um,
Yeah, I it does kind of seem that way. I'm a little bit of an outlier in that way.
yeah.
Um, I was pretty smart growing up, like smart enough to do good in school, but after high school, I ended up being homeless for a little bit, and I just really didn't have the means to like go to university or anything. Um,
Okay.
so I kind of just worked minimum wage, did whatever I could, got into drywall, worked in drywall for about half a year before deciding, screw it, I'll go off on my own. It'll work
Right.
or it won't work, and if it
But
doesn't work, I'll
you've been with Faith for quite a while though. Does Faith come into the picture when you during like this like an interim homeless period?
well, basically, Faith and we've been together since we were 15, 16.
Okay, I knew it was early.
Um, yeah. Um, so we kind of tried to like be together all the time. I think we lived together full time at like 16, 17.
Crazy.
Um,
Were
but
you
neither one,
homeless? Were you homeless?
sorry,
Did you graduated from high school, didn't you?
I did graduate. Yeah.
Okay, and you're pretty smart. You got good grades.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for some reason or another, you became homeless though. So that you, with the timeline, you were with Faith when you became homeless. And we don't have to like dig in too far if you don't want to, but maybe there was something happened where you had to leave your living arrangement.
Yeah. So basically, Faith and we tried to, we always wanted to live together and be together all the time. And
Yeah.
we tried doing that with my mom. We tried doing that with her mom. We tried doing that with her dad. And everybody didn't really like it. Nobody was really a fan of having me around, having Faith around. Nobody,
Because you guys were too young, maybe they were
I
strict
think
and they
so. Yeah.
you were living in sin, so to speak.
Yeah. I don't think we had a whole lot of support for our relationship at the very beginning. Um, I think that kind of kept us stronger too. Um, but yeah, didn't really have anywhere that we could live together. I could
Dude,
have lived at,
don't don't get in the way of young love.
yeah,
Like,
true.
what are they
Yeah.
thinking? Let the kiddos sort it out for themselves.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out, man.
Um,
What's interesting is I basically lived with my girlfriend at the time. My parents were split up, and honestly, I had lost my brother in 91, and I started dating a girl when I was a sophomore, around 16, and we were together completely through my high school. We were inseparable all through my freshman year at college. And she, like, by that time, my mom was like, whatever. And she was a big support for my mom. And, she stayed at the house a lot. So I can totally relate to like, we were in love, it was a cool situation, and it wasn't like dirty or nasty or anything. We were together for 3 years. At 20, I think I got into the trade maybe at 21. I was like an apprentice in the union. I didn't know shit. There's no way I could have like gone out on my own. So we're gonna get into that. Basically, back to the story, you and Faith were just not comfortable in your living setting. Are you guys still cool with your parents today? Is everything cool?
Um, I'm not cool with my parents. Faith and
Okay,
her mom have a pretty good relationship, I think.
good.
I, but yeah, no, I don't talk to any of my parents.
I'm sorry to hear that. But you know, it is what it is. Maybe you guys will come full circle one day. But Faith is kind of closer. Are they still? Are your parents still not on board with the Faith and Tyler relationship?
I can only really speak for my mom. I know my mom has never really been a big fan of Faith.
Okay,
For no good reason either. It's mainly like a jealousy kind of thing. Um, so no, I don't talk
okay,
to my mom, but I
okay,
would say she probably wouldn't be on board.
okay. All right. Huh. That's a bummer. But you have a lot of time. So for what it's worth, and I appreciate you being honest and opening up. That's pretty cool. You and Faith are still together. You guys are going strong. And so we're going back to, was it a together thing? And I know I talked a little bit with Faith about it on her show. Was it when you started drywall? Did she come over? Because she was learning from like the plastering girl, right?
Yeah.
And then were you learning somewhere else or did you join forces with her?
I had been working for like a restoration company only for like a probation period. Like they fired me at the end of my probation period.
Okay.
Uh,
What?
so I
Wait a second. What was the name of the company?
Winmar. Yeah, they're like they bring on employees, keep them around for their probation period, and then right before they get any kind of rights, they fire them. Winmar.
Winmar Restoration. So their scam is we are going to hire people. They're going to be like interns. We're going to pay them a shit wage, and then as soon as it's time to make them into like a journeyman, if they have the chops or whatever, we fire them. So we don't have to. That doesn't seem like a good business model though, because you're wasting all that time training people, kind of. Um,
I
you
mean,
know.
he went bankrupt. He doesn't have a company anymore. The guy,
All right. Well, there you go.
yeah, it didn't work out for him.
If you're thinking about using that business model, it's a bad idea. It's free labor.
Yeah.
I want to go scour the colleges and find people to do my website and shit because they'll just work for nothing. And these are the people that should be making money. So cool. So you did learn some things at Winmar. This is a restoration company. Were they doing lots of different types of restoration, and maybe you got thrusted into the drywall arena?
Well, they did kind of do everything. Like it was a lot of mold removal, so it would be like or like flood repair. So it would be drywall, taping, painting, flooring, trim, doors.
Okay.
They never let me do any flooring, any trim, any taping, any mudding. I only did demo, painting,
Okay.
priming, and boarding.
Okay.
Um, and not a whole lot of it. Like I was really like the lowest guy on the totem pole there.
Of
Uh,
course. Yeah, your
so I
labor.
didn't learn a whole lot there. Um,
Okay. How long were you there for?
um, I think the probation period is 12 weeks, I think.
Okay. A very short period of time in the vast scheme of things. And you and Faith are trying to live on your own at this point in time?
Yeah.
Okay. And so man, you're happy to take anything. Faith is working doing drywall, correct?
Yeah, taping, not boarding, but taping and painting. Yeah.
Taping and painting, and you're learning a little bit about boarding, probably not enough to like just to be
No,
crappy at it. Yeah.
no, not
Um,
anything. Only like basic labor. Like nobody ever
okay.
taught me anything high level.
Okay, let's continue on down the path. You get let go from Winmar. They're folded. Uh, where do you go from here?
From here, I I remember I got fired at like 9 o'clock at night. Like I was laying in bed, Faith and I were laying in bed, and then I just got fired out of nowhere, freak out a little bit.
Like email? Was
Um,
it an email or a text?
no, he texted me.
Douchebag.
And the funny thing about that, I found out we had another young guy at Winmar, also named Tyler. Um, so we were called T1 and T2.
Okay.
But he basically got fired like right when I got fired, like same time.
Okay.
And I found out that the guy who fired us, Dave, he copy and pasted the message because both of us had the exact same name. So both of us got the exact same message from him, word for word.
He
So
didn't
I
even
thought that was
have
kind
the
of funny.
audacity to send an authentic,
No,
original message to each one of you.
no.
Come on, fella. Come
Yeah,
on.
he was kind of a dickhead, but at the
It
time,
reminds me of the saying, careful whose toes you step on today. They might be attached to the ass that you have to kiss tomorrow. So maybe this guy will come looking looking for you and Faith for a job one day. Who knows? And he can be like, sure, we'll give you a 12-week probationary period.
yeah,
And then at the end, you might get a text from me that says, fuck off.
yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. We won't dwell on it. Let's move on. So you get the text 9 o'clock at night too. It's like, come on, man, business hours.
Faith and her boss Amber were doing a house at the time, and it was like the biggest job they'd ever done, Amber had ever had.
Okay.
Um, so they were kind of looking for a helper because there's only the two of them. So it kind of worked out that when I got fired and I had like kind of a tiny bit of experience, like trying in painting. I had never really done any mudding before. I'm pretty sure I lied though and said I had done mudding before. I don't know. I don't remember.
Wait, you lied to
Um,
maybe Amber?
I think so. I
Okay,
might
you were
have.
like,
I
hey,
don't know.
I got this. I got this. Faith and I, we're a team. We're gonna crush it out.
I don't know. Amber ended up wanting the help, even if I was just going to be like labor. And it was
Okay.
pretty clear when I got there. I didn't know how to mud. I didn't know how to do anything. Um, but yeah, I ended up working with Faith and Amber for a little bit under half the year, I think.
On your timeline, that's like a major portion of your training probably came through that means. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's like all my training I got.
Is that Muddy
No,
Girl? Is that Muddy Girl plastering?
um, yeah, Muddy Girl taping, painting,
Muddy Girl
plastering.
tape. And I mean, we don't have to dwell on it. Whatever. You guys ended up separating, but it's part of your and Faith's story. And how you guys came up. I mean, it's interesting to me how different people get into this trade. Your first generation, obviously. What does your dad or mom do for work?
Um, my mom, throughout my childhood, she was like she called herself a cook, I guess. My dad, he was a higher end cook. He worked at a 5-star restaurant in Toronto. He was like the head chef there. So yeah, I guess both of them made food.
So both of your parents were kind of in food.
Yeah,
Faith is first generation drywaller.
yeah,
You guys learn a little bit from Amber, and then at a certain point in time, you and Faith were like, "We got this." And you're young at that point. You're like 19, correct?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, all right, that's young. But you
yeah.
and so it begs the question, like, how you know one of the stressful aspects about going out on your own is, do we have work? Are we going to be able to do this? I mean, for me, it was about the security. I was in the union.
Yeah.
I was like getting full benefits, and, it wasn't a whole lot that we were making, but this was like 25 years ago. But it was a good a wage. I was making a decent wage. I had benefits, like all of that stuff. I was taken care of, as long as I was just worried about, man, just keeping my job as an apprentice.
Yeah.
It was nowhere on my radar going out on my own. I didn't even have the capacity to, I was partying, you know. just being like a derelict. You two are like becoming adults very quickly. Um, Go on. So, I mean, what was going through your thought process? What was the conversation like in your household, you and Faith, when you're like, let's do this, we can go out on our own? Did you make a plan?
Well, it kind of happened all out of nowhere one day. I quit working for Amber. I We had like a big falling out. I did
Okay.
end up without a job again. I didn't get fired, but I quit.
Okay.
Uh, Amber wanted Faith and I to work a holiday, but it was only
Okay.
going to be a 2 hour day.
Okay.
Whereas I don't know if you know, like with the statutory holiday, if you don't work, you get paid anyway. You get paid for like a normal day, like the average day that you'd be working, which would have been like a 7 hour day.
Okay.
So I told Amber I could stay home and get paid for a 7 hour day, or I could come in and work a 2 hour day and get paid for a 2 hour day. And I told her I would rather not work the holiday. I think it was Easter. Yeah, in April it was Easter. And
Okay.
I told her like I'm not working the holiday. I'm staying home. And she told me, well then like if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. And
Yeah.
I'm just not going to be spoken to that way. So I told her,
Yeah.
okay, I
She
won't
was
be
like,
here.
dude,
I'm
she
leaving.
was like, dude, I need your help, man. I need your help. I don't give a shit that it's Easter. I'm not
Yeah, no, she
religious.
did need my help. And when I quit, I had left. Like I got in my car and I went home and I did not come back. She
Yeah.
texted me and she begged for me to come back. Like
Well, let's
I
let's
told her,
back up though. Let's back up. I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit. Like what, and also now, as you know, from an owner's standpoint, sometimes we get bogged down. We got a lot of work. You know, she probably needed the help. It's hard to quantify. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like normally in a normal circumstance, you get paid 7 hours for a holiday. I run my own company. I can't afford that. Can you just come in and work 2 hours? But it doesn't sound like it was that type of conversation. But you know what I
no,
mean?
it's kind of crazy to expect somebody to work for you on Easter. I
Okay.
I won't I would never expect that out of any employee I have. I
Okay.
take care of the people that work for me, and I don't think I own my employees. I know they're living their own life and
Okay.
they get on the holidays.
I'm that
Uh,
way too. And I mean, I'll play devil's advocate, but also play. I'm that way as well. I'm like, dude, if you don't want to work, I'll fucking show up and do it. This is hours. There's hours for you on the table here. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And I'm going to segue away a little bit. Do you and Faith have employees that work for you now?
Currently, we don't have any full-time employees. We have
Okay.
people that we subcontract to.
Okay.
I have had employees before, and I want to move towards having employees again, but
Of course.
that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. That's the
Yeah.
whole
It's a
thing you
bitch.
gotta worry about.
Yeah. Yeah, you
It's a
got to
lot
have a
easier
little. You got
at
to
work.
you got to call that Winmar guy and be like, "Hey, man, how do you run this? How do you run this probation operation that you're doing?" No, 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 don't do that. But
No,
it is like an apprenticeship, and it comes up a lot on the podcast, training people, the challenges of that. One dynamic that I see working really well for you and Faith, the same dynamic that works well for the Gilbert taping, is that there's two of you and that is really strategic.
yeah,
It's almost like having a superpower. Like cuz when you're by yourself, it's tough, but taping if you have two people, it's really strategic. Like you guys can bust shit out and well, it's nice. It's not it's
it is
like
really nice. I feel like a lot of people don't know like how nice it really is, but Faith and
right.
I feel like we each have half of the same brain. Like
Right. Right.
we still fight pretty often, but like
Of
we
course.
know how each other think at work, and we do flow together pretty well, I think.
Yeah, yeah. You get to the job and it's like, okay, I'm on the zoo today, you're on this, whatever.
Yeah,
You're gonna take care of screws. You always do that. I can do it today if you don't feel like it. You can pick out angles, whatever. But it's cool, you guys, it's super bomber to do that because I've finished houses solo and it's a bitch, man. It just
Yeah.
goes twice as it goes twice as fast with two people, but it's more about energy expenditure. So when you have a partner like that, it just goes really smoothly. So I could see that benefit too to leaving, but that still doesn't explain why and how you got jobs early on. Like how and Faith, she stayed. So the challenge that I'm faced with right now in this story is that Faith is still on board with Amber. Tyler has just left, which may have caused a little bit of strife between you and Faith. You guys need work because you're living on your own now. There's no more support from mom and dad. Uh, how? What's the conversation like? Let's say the night after Tyler leaves, Faith's at work. Faith is faced with a dilemma. What am I gonna do? We need money. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
think it probably did put Faith in a pretty tricky situation, kind of
Yeah,
having to
yeah.
deal with the emotional aftermath from Amber. I
Yeah. She's
I
like,
heard
your
about it. I
boyfriend's
didn't see
your
it.
boyfriend's a jerk. Let's get this shit done. I
Yeah,
need him back,
it kind of created a pretty weird dynamic that I don't
little
think ever
riff.
fully went away
Little
between
riff.
Faith and
Yeah.
Amber.
Okay.
Um, so things became a little bit weird between them, but Faith was pretty committed to working for Amber. She
Okay.
was always loyal to Amber and had made a
Okay.
commitment and
Okay.
never wanted to leave Amber high and dry. Like she wasn't going to
Good.
quit because I
Good.
quit.
Okay, so
Um,
she saw it through, but you guys are still having a conversation at night. What are we gonna do? What does
yeah,
that look like?
we had talked about what a business could look like if we
Okay.
had gone off together and started something up.
Okay.
We thought up the name Fine Touch together.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, but on the logo on your shirt there, it's got like an FT. It's the initials of Fine Touch, but also our names, like Faith and Tyler.
I did
So
not.
it's
That is
a
clever.
pretty
Clever.
cool connection there. So we kind of created that together. Faith made up the logo on her own. Um,
Pretty
but
good. Is
we
this a
were kind
book?
of
What's going on here?
um, I don't even remember. I think it's two hands like holding a house. Like it's showing that like
Oh, okay.
we
Yeah, I
care,
see that.
like we're holding the
Yeah.
house with care. I don't know.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it looks pretty cool.
You're giving it that fine touch.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I
sure.
like it. Okay.
But yeah, Faith and I were in two different positions. I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. I was kind of getting fed up with that whole idea. I've always wanted to do my own thing and
Yeah.
live on my own terms and whatnot.
And
Um,
as we learned, you're kind of you're sharp. You got good grades in school, like you're a sharp person.
yeah, I'm
Um,
not dumb enough to be a drywall employee.
yeah, and and hey, no shame to drywall employees out there. We get a lot of drywall employees that listen. That's an easy route to go too, because you don't have to deal with all the bullshit of running a business. As you now know, there's a lot. So you guys start waxing poetic about a logo. We're kicking around names. Did you devise a plan at that time to go out on your own?
I mean, we never came to a full-on conclusion. It all happened very quickly.
Okay.
It was a pretty stressful time. I don't think anybody's
Yeah.
brain was really working at full capacity.
Okay. Fair enough.
Um, I ended up just doing it one night at like 1 a.m. I Googled how to start your own business and I did all the government formal document shit and I paid
Love
for
it.
my business license. And it took me quite a while. I was awake till like 3 a.m. on the computer, just figuring it all out. And then in the morning, I had a business and I started marketing
Okay. How'd you start marketing?
on Facebook. I would go to like a bunch of different groups and like
Okay.
there'd be contractors that are looking for people, and I would start there, like people that are openly, actively looking for people.
Interesting. So you would look for contractors in your area that are like, we need drywallers.
Yeah, Basically,
Okay.
I was doing a lot of subcontracting at the beginning.
Okay.
Um, so when I worked for Amber, she was paying me more than I had ever been paid before. I was making 18 an hour,
Okay.
and at the time, I mean, I thought I should be getting more. But it was still the best I'd ever had. But
Sure.
immediately after going off on my own, I found some dude on Facebook, and I told him like I'll work for 50 an hour. That's what everybody else pays me, 50 an hour.
Shut
Meanwhile,
the
I had never
fuck
worked.
up. You, that is so
Um,
ballsy. I love it.
he didn't pay me 50 an hour. He paid me
Okay.
30 an hour. But 30 an hour after making 18, I was over the moon.
All right, let's pause right there. If you're listening, okay, there's no shame in asking, So if you would have asked for 30, he might have given you 20. This is the
Oh yeah.
point. Like, man, we undercut ourselves. Tyler's too naive and green in the industry to even know. He's like, screw it. I'll ask for 50 bucks an hour. This shit is worth it, man. We make walls look good. Now, at that time, were you like any good?
No, I didn't
You
know
still
anything.
sucked. Yeah.
No, I was so bad.
I love
So
it. You
bad.
sucked and you wanted a premium. You're like, screw
Yeah.
it. Like, if I'm coming into your job. So this person agrees, which is still not enough if you're running your own company, by the way.
No, not
$30.
even 50. I would never work for 50 an hour again.
No, it's more like 100 an hour at least.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, bare minimum. So but you're like, screw it. I just doubled my income. That's your thought process.
Yeah.
Set aside insurance, all the things that you have to pay for. You can listen to the Doug McKenzie episode if you want to, or call Doug McKenzie and go to the CEO program if you want to learn how to properly bid your work. But that said, have you talked to Doug?
I've talked
Come
to
on.
him. I
I
had I
see the
had like a two
smile.
and a half hour phone call with him.
All right, all right. Well, I mean, you can speak freely. What's your take? There's no allies here on the Drywall Podcast. I live dry. The younger guy, what's interesting is the younger guys just like tell it like it is. They don't give a shit, and it's like,
Yeah.
whose ass are we trying to kiss here? What
Nobody.
was your take on it? Drywall CEO class. I mean, is it he does have a point. We do undercut ourselves, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of drywallers out there that don't know how to bid projects. So you're smarter, I can tell. You maybe just were able to figure that out quicker than the average person.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, I had a pretty long phone call with Doug, and I liked the phone call. I feel like I learned a bit just from talking to him. Like
Yeah, I've talked to
he's
him
a
too.
very smart guy, and he's
Yeah,
done very well in drywall.
he's no dummy. No,
But then he tells me if you want to come do my thing, you have to pay 5 grand. And
love it.
what?
Hey,
What do
yeah,
you
but
mean 5 grand?
you can appreciate that though, because that's how you started. You asked this guy for 50 bucks. Know your worth. That's the point. No, like
True.
Doug's allowed to ask for however much he feels like his class is worth.
Yeah.
And if you take his class and you end up getting 10 jobs from it, well, then it was worth it. It's all relative.
Honestly, my honest opinion, I think everything you can learn from Doug, you can learn within yourself. Like nobody needs Doug to succeed
Sure.
in drywall. Everybody's capable of it. It's only drywall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody needs Doug. It's not a good way of spending your money.
Well, I would be careful with that too. Like maybe some people might have it easier if they can go and get all that information distilled. This is why people pay for college too. People pay $100,000 for college without batting an eye. You're not even guaranteed a job when you leave college, depending on
Yeah.
what you're studying. So it's all kind of relative. We'll take it with a grain of salt. The CEO Academy was not for Tyler. Tyler's like, I can learn that shit on my own. Thank you for the 2 hour phone call. I appreciate it. And I want to add, you and Faith are maybe a good team. You're a good dynamic duo. Uh, she might have the video skills. Maybe you have the back end business skills.
Uh, yeah, so I mean, when I went off on my own to start a taping business, I didn't know how to tape. I was more of a businessman. Like I knew how to run a
Yeah,
business, and I knew how to market, and I knew how to get
yeah,
work. I knew how to talk to people and I knew how to make people like me.
Yeah,
But
I
I
like
wasn't a good
that.
paper and I didn't do good work. But you fake it till you make it. You learn. You're self-made. You learn on your own, and
Yeah, well, except for
you get
Amber.
there.
Let's be clear. Most people like Tyler, except for Amber. Maybe.
Oh
I'll
no, a
cut.
lot of people don't like me. The people I work for like me. Every client I've ever had, they all love me. Other people don't like me. Other people who do what I do and maybe
Dude,
don't make as much money as I do, and they've been doing it a lot longer, they don't like me, and I'm okay with that.
I love this interview way more than I thought I was going to, but just remember, and no offense by that too. I don't know. I go into each interview, just completely open to the possibilities, but I'm going to say this too. No, my a little pearl. If everybody likes you, you're not being authentic. I'm just going to say that wholeheartedly.
No, I've always agreed with that. I think most things in our world that are popular, most people aren't that good at people. If you're popular, if a lot of people like you, you're probably not a great person. You're probably lying to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. And I
Um,
appreciate in this interview your ability to just be honest. So I appreciate that. Sometimes I'll ask, I dance around it, with jokes and funny, but I'll ask tough questions, that people may not want to answer. We can skip over it. I can edit it out, like whatever people want to do. But I think that's interesting content. How did Fine Touch Taping come to be? What's Tyler's story? Who's Tyler? That's what I want to know. And we're discovering that, and I love it. I love it. You're ambitious. You're up till 3 in the morning. You're like, fuck this. I'm 19 years old. I'm gonna start my own business. To me, that's inspiring. I love it. So you wake up and you're like, "Hun, I did something. I started our own company." And so, how does it transpire from there?
well, I mean, Faith and I were supposed to do it together, and I
Yep.
did it on my own
Okay.
late at night one night, so it wasn't received too well.
Okay.
Um, Faith and I were in different places, though. She was working for Amber, and I was in a
Yeah.
place where I'm not willing to be an employee anymore. It's either
Yeah.
going to work or it won't work.
Yeah. I
Um,
like that.
and I've always been pretty confident. People were telling me I'm overconfident. I think it's a lot better to be overconfident than not confident at all.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I after that, Faith kept on working for Amber for um, I don't even think a year. I think about half a year. Faith had kept working for Amber, but she was helping me out like every weekend, every she a lot of days she wouldn't really have a full day working for Amber, so she'd work with me after or before. Um, so we were there from the beginning together.
Okay.
Uh,
But
I
you
had
were
got
getting jobs. You were getting jobs and you were firing it up.
yeah, I had a few different companies I was working for.
Okay.
I've always had a pretty good steady supply of private work off Facebook, Google.
Okay.
Um,
You're good at marketing, and it was called Fine Touch Taping.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I hired a full-time employee right away, 17-year-old kid. Didn't know anything, like not anything at all. And
Eek. That sounds rough.
well, it went really well.
Okay.
He listened to me and he caught on to everything really quick. Um, and it was a really good experience. I felt like I was giving him a much better step into the industry than I had, and I was
Sure.
happy that I was able to do that for like a young kid. Um, that's the whole story I can tell with that employee. He moved in with me. It didn't work out.
Right. Didn't work
Um,
out.
he did
You're
last a
like
long time though.
you're
I
like
had
I
him
need
for like
faith. I need faith skills.
yeah, no, I remember before I had Faith working with me full time, it's definitely something I wanted day in and day out, just a competent taper to help me on site.
Of course. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. it's hard to make an employee into a good taper when you're not even a
Yeah.
good taper yet either.
Right, right. So you're still even struggling with like getting the ropes. And
Yeah, no,
you
it's a
weren't
hard
using
time.
any of the automatic tools. You were doing like probably banjo,
Not even. No, when I first started, I was
the
doing a lot of like,
tape reel on the belt.
yeah. I started off doing a lot of mold removal and like flood repair.
Okay.
So I'm not
Patching.
I'm not taping full houses or anything. I
Okay.
I did a lot of insurance work. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, like minimal taping. Like you're basically a big butt 2 feet high up on the wall, going along the whole wall
Yeah.
for like a whole basement. So I mean,
Yeah,
it
but
is good for learning. Like
that's still hard to make that shit look good, right?
it is, yeah. You're coating a big dirty sideways
Yeah.
butt. Like
Yeah. Or and you're blending existing to
yeah.
new.
And you got to work quick when you're doing insurance work too. Like they all want it done perfect, they want it done clean, and they want it done quick. So
Yeah.
you're doing first and second coat and sheetrock, and you're skimming it on day one. You're putting drywall in, maybe even insulation, vapor barrier. You're
Uh,
taping, coat, skim,
and
all in day one.
how do you know how to do any of that stuff? Are you like just going home and Googling shit with your like, you're not even millennial. You're pre-millennial. You're like Gen Y? Gen X? Gen Y?
Gen, Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I've never heard Gen Y. I think I'm Gen Z. I'm not too sure. I think I would be.
When are you born?
Oh 03.
Oh three. We'll look it up. I'll fucking Google that shit.
Yeah, I learned a lot on Google, a lot on just from talking to people,
Yeah.
bouncing ideas off of faith all the time. Like I'd go to work, we should
Yeah,
go to work,
that's
we'd come
true.
home, we'd talk
You had
about it.
faith. Yeah, you had faith too. That probably helped. I'm gonna call this the purgatory years. You own fine touch taping. You don't have faith on board yet. You're sort of floundering out there, but you're making money and you're learning a ton. Uh, 6 months?
About a little bit over half a year, I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That must have been a blessing when old Faith jumped ship and came over.
Well, yeah, a blessing for sure. It also kind of happened out of nowhere. I'm not going to go into detail on the story, but Faith and Amber had issues of their own, and it wasn't really a happy ending kind of thing.
Sure, sure.
Um, in the back of my mind, I'm happy 'cause now I know like Faith's gonna be
Yeah.
working with me full time.
Well,
Um,
from a business standpoint, you're like, oh, okay, now I can like focus on really like we can grow now. I've got
yeah,
like I've got a partner and we can now maybe we can take on more aggressive jobs.
yeah, it really worked out timing wise when Faith had come to work with me and run the business full time with me. Um, I had just got to like full houses and I had never got a house before. And we were
Beautiful.
doing board and tape and prime.
Okay.
And
Beautiful.
they were really big. Both of them were like 8,000 board
Yeah.
feet.
That's a
So
good
not
chunk
too
of money.
big.
That's a good chunk of money too.
Oh yeah.
And
Um,
so, which was Faith running the tools at the time? Do you guys have tools at that time?
for the first two houses we did, we were 100% hand finishing. We had like
Uh,
the Can-Am corner system, but like
okay.
we coated every flat, every butt with a
Yeah.
knife or a trowel, every bead.
People still do it, dude.
I know. We're getting out of it though. We're getting really good with the automatic tools now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I got to learn like right away, so like there's people that like, yeah, they're like, well, and then you have that like interim where it's like, oh, I know how to do it by hand. I don't want to use the tools because I'm afraid to learn something new. But like, man, once you start learning those tools, it's like, duh.
Can never go back. You can
No.
definitely never go back.
No. And what are you using now? What kind of tools? What do you like?
So we've got what I like to do a 12. So for flats, we've got a 12-inch Columbia Fat Boy,
Okay. Got the
and
fat
it's
boy.
really good for doing first coat.
Heavy,
Uh,
heavy, right? But
yeah, well, not too
you can
bad.
run out those fat boys. You could run out a lot more, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, And then with 14, I'll skim with the 14.
Yep.
Silver
Also,
bubbleboard, same
also
thing.
Columbia. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all Columbia.
Okay. All Columbia. Okay.
Yeah.
Except for, do you still like use the Can-Am corner stuff?
I We've got a Can-Am flusher, a Can-Am pole, and a Can-Am roller and a Can-Am corner applicator.
You got some Can-Am shit, dude. No
Yeah,
shame.
I've
No
got the
shame
odd
to
thing.
those semi-automatic boys over there at Can-Am.
Yeah. Yeah, we love Can-Am.
uh, shout out to Wolfgang. I'll give a little shout out to Wolfgang
Yeah,
and Columbia
shout out to
Tools
Wolfgang.
and
Oh
Columbia
yeah.
Tools. And what about the bazooka?
I don't know if you know, but I won the bazooka from a giveaway a while
No.
ago, like a year ago, I feel like. Um,
So
and for a while,
you're putting that to work every day.
I wish. For a while, I didn't get a lot of big houses or anything for a little bit. I was doing a lot of reno work, and I
Okay.
just did not want to get it out for like taping like a couple rooms or something, or like a little addition. I don't know. So I didn't actually bring it out until I brought it out for the first time on a bigger edition that we were doing, and I really
Wait,
liked it.
you had never used it before.
No, I had never used it before.
Okay. But you see
Uh,
people online, you know, crushing it with the bazooka.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
You had influential people that helped you learn the tools.
Yeah.
And so you use the bazooka today, or are you still learning?
Um, if I were to pick it up today, I would probably take a half hour to start running it good. Um, Basically, do you know like the big house we're working on now? Have you seen anything about it? Yeah, so it's 25,000 board feet.
Okay.
Really big house. We're main floor, basement, garage, and basically, I broke my bazooka like a week before we got there, and I didn't
Okay.
realize it would be broken. I thought I could like put it back together and it would be okay, but I think I lost a few like tiny little screws that I had to put like a plate back in. So I talked to Aaron from Columbia,
Yeah.
and he had sent me like the tiny little pieces I need. He knew what I needed.
Okay.
Um, but the timing didn't work out. Like we had already been ready to tape the house, so we had to tape it with our semi-automatic Columbia Commando kit,
Okay. Yeah.
like tube, flusher, all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out. I might be pulling it out tomorrow or the day after, though.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully.
Whatever, man. The point is, yeah, you're on the path to learning the tools, which is going to make your lives much easier. You guys have worked together for a couple years now. You're gelled. Um, I don't know if I should talk about this or not. You guys are just boyfriend, girlfriend. You're not fiance.
I mean, technically, she is wearing a ring like on her finger, and
Okay.
I
All
did
right.
technically get down on one knee and say, "Will you marry me?" when we were 15, and she never took the ring
Oh.
off. And I tell people she's my wife.
But you haven't been married.
No, we've never had a wedding. No.
Well, she's your fiance. She's your fiance.
Well, I'm gonna get her a better ring one day. She's not really
Doesn't
wearing
matter.
like a
Doesn't
big
matter.
diamond
You
ring.
got down on a knee and you asked her to marry you, and she said yes.
Yeah,
Okay, she's your
it's
fiance. When you
yeah.
get married, then she'll be your wife.
I
Just
still call her my wife.
okay, all right, fair enough. And I mean, just for clarification, you guys been together quite a while now. If you can work together and you can live together and you haven't killed each other by now, you're doing okay. You know, anyone, I don't care what age you are, will attest relationships are challenging, and nobody is immune from that, especially in the drywall world. This has been pretty cool, Tyler.
Yeah, yeah, for
Did it
sure.
go the way did it go the way you thought it was gonna go?
Uh, kinda.
uh,
No, it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been good, man. I've enjoyed it. Sincerely, they're all different. They're all like little eggs, you know. They're all little Easter eggs, you know. Every personality, and I never know how each show is going to go. But that does bring us to our pearl of wisdom, which you said you were going to. You were thinking about the pearl, and I was like, don't think about it too much, man. You know, shoot from the hip. But now, as we've talked a little bit, you know me, I know you, and honestly, this is the first time we've really talked. You know, I mean, this intimately.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, man. You're a cool dude, and
Yeah,
you're
me too.
smart, and I like what you guys are up to. And what would it be if you could put something on a billboard for all your drywall worker friends, tradesmen, tradeswomen in the trades? What would you put? What would you say?
I guess my pearl of wisdom would be more directed towards like people like me, like young people
Okay.
that aren't quite confident enough to do what they want to do, or maybe don't believe that they're capable of doing what they want to do. Um, my my pearl of wisdom would be you can do anything that you put your mind to, and it's a lot better to be overconfident than not confident at all.
Hello, and welcome to an overconfident episode of the Drywall Podcast. Things things were said, things were done. Tears. We had tears, laughter. It had all the sprinklings of a good podcast in there. Tyler Adler, Fine Touch Taping out of Peterborough, Ontario, with us on the 138th episode of the Drywall Podcast. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate your time. I know how valuable your time is. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, we will keep in touch. We will keep in fine touch, rather. Um, I
Love it.
I want to, anything you guys need with the Fresco Harmony, that stuff, what you've done is pretty cool. Yeah, Jamie's been like doing some cool shit over there with he's all like crazy excited about it. So, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Lots of stuff happening there, but, you and Faith should come over too. I found out, October 9th through the 12th, we are having, Fresco Harmony training in Swindon, England at GWI. That
Oh
would
yeah.
be cool. And I heard that maybe we'll be going out to an English Premier League soccer game. But a bunch of cool people are going to be there. The Tiniest Taper, maybe the Kilted Painter, like Daniel Atkinson. We might be launching the new Fresco Harmony trowel by Come.
Oh yeah.
Lots
I
of
I
cool
heard about
stuff.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys are inclined, though, I'm throwing it out there. I would love to see you and Faith there. I think that would be really cool. Talk to her.
That would be
Yeah.
really cool. We got our passport application paper like 2 days ago.
Okay.
So good
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah. And if you guys ever wanted to come down here and do a fresco job, that would be fun too.
That
Get
would
you
be fun.
find a place for you to set up at, and like an Airbnb or something, and you
Yeah.
guys could do some fresco. I'll pay you, especially if we did a big one, man. I could pay you
Yeah.
like an hourly wage, and you guys would learn a bunch, come down here. Hopefully, it kind of pays your way a little bit. If
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
work,
no, it'd be really cool.
it'd be cool. I'd love it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Well, you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.
You too. Thank you. Have a good one, man.
All right, Tyler. Bye. Huge shout out to Tyler for being with us on the Drywall Podcast today. I sure hope that we get to catch up in England. How awesome would that be? Let's keep in touch about the fresco, all that good stuff. You guys are crushing it. I'm giving you tons of love. I wish you nothing but success. Also, I want to give a giant shout out to our sponsor for the month of July, Ames Tool Company. I am still completely blown away that you guys are supporting the Drywall Podcast, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for that. That's right. You don't have to adjust your sound. I said it. Ames Tool Company. One last thing about the concept of tool rentals. Their daily rates mean tools aren't just lying around, taking up space and not making you money. New to the automatic taping world, Ames has a solution for that. They offer tool training, whether you want to go and have a quick run with the tools, or you want an in-depth, long-term rental option. They'll make sure that you're confident with every tool that you rent. The largest ATF tool rental in the U.S. There's names nearby you that is going to get you going. Check them out at shopamestools.com or stop by your nearest Ames location to learn more. Ames Tools. Work smarter, finish faster, and save money. I know you have a lot of options for listening pleasure at the job site or in your car or wherever you happen to be today. You chose the Drywall Podcast, and I'm grateful to you for that. Curious about coming on the show? Have questions for me about the show? You can reach out to me anytime. info@frescoharmony.com, and I will answer you, or you can give me a call, 505-400-9313. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and remember, keep drywalling.